What's up, everybody? I am still dying over here. I am still fighting a cold, something. I don't know. I have a cough. I'm dying. But we're going to attempt to make some content today. So we are going to... How does this work? Oh, look at that. It snaps right in there. Oh, it did break. I was wondering why. I was trying to keep this and see if it wasn't any good. Okay, it broke. I had to get a new thing on the back of my phone, and it's like a traditional pop socket, and I don't know how I feel about it. I used to have the old snap one. But a couple goals for tonight. Want to do a... Oh, green screen's not on. Hey guys, green screen needs to be back on. Want to do a arena announcements review, and then I want to talk a little bit about the Future of Commander news article that came out. I know if you're paying attention to Magic, you've probably already seen it, but for the sake of practice and producing some more news content, I want to go ahead and get that out there. So I'm really just blew into the mic. I got shit all over the microphone. Yeah, for the sake of practice, I also want to cover some stuff. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. It won't let me. Yeah. Then there was another thing in here. We'll be evaluating the current ban list as well. Okay. So I'm trying to mute to clear my throat. So I am dying. I wonder if I did something different, like side cam. Screen. All right, well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. What if I add an image? image. Now my head can be over the top of it. We got some fun stuff going on. Just change it out, whatever season we're in. Talking about Duskmourn. And so, yeah, let's talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do some articles. This is a mess. There's a mess over here. Yep, we're just gonna leave it. And there's an official Magic Discord now. Okay. I thought there was gonna be. There was supposed to be a Commander news channel. Doesn't seem. Oh, it literally doesn't have access yet. Okay. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Okay. So, yeah, let's jump in. We're going to make a couple for all those that are hanging out. If this is your first time here, appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome. We do things a little differently. Maybe not. I am attempting to be a Magic the Gathering content creator. So with that, I'm trying to do various news posts, various elements. So we have our Bronze to Mythic runs. We're starting to do MTGO leagues now. We do RCQ vlogs. And if I do in-person drafts, I will also do vlogs on that. And then we do news covering as well. And then trying to think of additional Magic the Gathering content that might be interesting. So this is not my full-time job, so I try to make content as efficiently as I can. So usually if I'm streaming, I am also recording YouTube and long-form content to go on my YouTube channel. So this is a later night stream than I normally stream. I try to stream early in the morning, but since the ranked reset happened, I am going to get in my first game of draft or two tonight, and then try to get up early tomorrow and get in another 2 or 3, maybe 4 drafts in the morning, depending on my schedule. I am fortunate enough that I live in the Eastern time zone, but I work Pacific hours, so I have extra time in the morning to do things. Yeah, I'm just checking my schedule for tomorrow. So that is the game plan for tonight and what we're going to try to do. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick off some news. I'm trying to think if I want to do something funny. Do I want to grab a stack of papers and act like... Do I need a news logo? Should I try to create something real quick? Maybe I try to create something real quick. Home. Some of these are pretty funny. Maybe I should do like this one. Oh, that one's That one's awfully noisy. So I got a bunch of like news animation things. I'm trying to think, see if any of them are. That one's gonna cycle, isn't it? Let's see if there's any cool ones. It doesn't say anything though. I want one that just kind of repeats. I think we might actually use this one. Okay. So delete. All right, we're gonna do something super fun and corny. Now I need like a desk. Desk. News desk. Desk scene. No, maybe, you know, no. We're making some stuff on the fly here, friends. Okay, let's see if I can just do it here. Canva. Okay, we'll just. Oh. So we need elements. We need like a desk. Like a desk background. Maybe we can find like a news desk. This is almost perfect. Trying to find an image like this one. Kind of. Come on. Perfect. All right, so we'll cut this. Add page. Bring you down here. We'll save you. Resize. Nope. $1920 by $1080. Okay, so now I can do this. And then do this. I'm not loving it. Where's that other one? Oh, there we go. Newscaster. Yes, I want this desk. Newscaster desk. How easily do you think I can cut a person from this? Let's see this one. Can I like remove object? It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Why does this have to be so hard? I'm just looking for like a desk. Like coming out from the screen, you know? So that I can do this look. I want to do that look. Okay, let's try desk scene. See if I can get anywhere with this. Didn't think this would be so hard to find. Newscaster desk? We tried that already, right? Hmm. No, I got the graphic that I want. I mean, that's kind of fun, but it's not what I want. I'm running out of things to search. I don't know what to search. Set as... and then what if I do this? Copy. Yeah. Actually, just do wall of TVs. Monitors? Wall of monitors? How about this? We're just going to get rid of this. We're going to make our own. Then just need a desk. Okay, and then what happens if I... Can I play all? Yeah. Okay. Now, if we do something like... Can I like blur them? Align space evenly? Background color. Uh, layers and backwards. Layer. Bring to front. Now, design elements. Do some shapes. We're gonna make this black. Layer, send backwards. No rounded corners, or do we do rounded corners? Layer, send backwards. See, if you can't find something, you just build it yourself. This is what it comes down to. Oh, this is all messed up. There was a tidy up function. Space evenly. Okay, now they're even. Do I like them that way? Now we add the black background, right? Make this black. Layer, send backwards. Actually, maybe I don't. Let's take a look at the background. Let's see if we can do some like bursty. No, I don't want any of that. Can I change? What do we want for our colors here? Maybe like this? No, that's gross. That's not any better. None of this is good. How can I edit this? There we go. I mean, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. Can I download this? We're going to see how bad this is. So this is my attempt at making a desk, a news desk. And seeing how this looks. To do my news content. All for like the first 10 seconds when I open up the video. So we're going to see how this works. This is what it should look like. What is this? Nope. That's not what we want. Is that still downloading? Okay, let's see if I can make this a scene. Sure, let's do that. Duplicate. Call it news intro. News intro. And then we're gonna add a cancel. I want to add a media source. Call it news intro. News background. Cool. Browse. Downloads. I'm a dummy. Okay. Let's change this up here. I gotta drop it somewhere. Where should I drop this? New folder. What are we gonna call it? Scenes. Copy, paste. And then now I can come up here. News background. Properties. Browse. Hey, hey. And then properties, we're going to loop this. Let's reduce the speed by 50%. Even more. That is still eye-catching. Now that ain't smooth at all. Okay. Well, that's a careful balance. Let's try 25%. 30%. Still a little stuttery. 35%. Okay. Hey, we have a new scene. Oh, that's great. That's hilarious. Okay. Now, well, where the hell did that go? What? Probably make myself smaller. I wanted. Not a good way to do it. There you go. We had a news desk. We're doing some news. Oh no. We messed up. Delete page 2. We just want page 1. So it was going to page 2, which was a black or a white screen. That's what was going on. So that's downloading. That's going to take a second. And then (1920 by 1080). Create new design. News. News. Videos. Download. Download. And then use background, properties. We're going to browse. Okay. So now that should loop and be fine. Now what happens if I do this? So add, we're going to add a media source. Graphic. Browse. This one, this one. And then after just a few seconds here, should cut to this. That's fun. Is there a way to... Is that gonna fade? Nope. Now, is there, can I... It's doing the same thing. I don't know much about transitions. What if I do this? Nope, still just cuts. I want to fade into this graphic though. Is there a way to do this? Group deprecated. I don't know. Properties. No. Is there? Oh, there is audio. Yeah, let's use that. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Can I just do? Nothing is easy. What do we want? Audio? All right. Create new design. I want elements. I want. Okay, here's audio. Okay, I'm just downloading this. Let's see if we can get this to work. Actually, why don't I do this? Here we go. This is going to be incredibly corny, but it's going to work. Browse, downloads. Okay, why don't I hear that? Are they coming through my headphones? It's not hitting the mixer. So where is the audio going? Can I hear any audio out of this computer? Yep. So we can hear audio. out of this computer. Okay. Nine. Okay, so the audio is playing somewhere. It's not playing on stream because it's not going through the mixer. Okay. Hi. Perfect. This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever done. All right. Okay. So we're gonna new scene. Perfect. So we go here. Go here. Here. Oh, not starting. Side cam. And then hi. Oh god, it's so funny. It's so funny. I need papers. I do need papers if I'm gonna do this. I need papers. Not this half sheet bullshit. Give me a full sheet. Oh, okay. That is some funny shit. All right. We're gonna do it. So we're gonna start side cam, and I'm gonna we got the papers for that. And then so I'm gonna hit record, be quiet, let it play, and then just start this and have a great time. I think this is gonna do this. And then it's gonna cut to me, and then we got the news going on in the background. It's not moving too crazy. It's too fast. Okay. This is hilarious. Okay. Oh, I just wasted an hour of my life making this fucking thing. Oh, it's so worth it though. Oh, it's so worth it. Oh, I gotta make a like a thing. Green screen. Like a it's like a news. Make a news. Hard hitting news. That's hilarious. Can this come down a little? I can. Oh, now we're catching all the green screen corners. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so this is how you make thumbnails. So we're gonna go green screen here, filters, turn the green screen off, close, and then you hit record, and you make faces into the camera. Maybe like lower, like right there. Or, oh, this is the other part. This is the other part. You gotta get the other chair. Because this chair, the back doesn't hide. You can see the green screen in the back. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Content creation's hard, friends. We got our sheets of paper, and then we do this. You know what? We really gotta sell it. that took longer than planned. But we have a suit coat. We're really selling this bitch. No, we're really selling it. All right. We got papers. Got the hat where we want it. We should probably put it. Pop creation's hard. Get it in there. What else did we do? We did this one. Do this. Confused. Happy. See if we can get like all of the paper in there. Move me over, papers over. Perfect. We made some thumbnails. Filters, turn that back on, close. Cool. We are gonna do some news. Okay. So I think I just hit record. Then we jump into it. Hi, and welcome to my new and revamped news segment. I even come with official papers that we are going to not read. But I wanted to do something a little fun for our news segments because we are trying to do more consistent news. But today is all about the new Commander news. If you are following along on any of the Magic communities, you know all about the future or the state of Commander. But I wanted to dive into the article, talk to you a little bit about my opinions, my thoughts. I had a really healthy discourse on my Discord with some of my friends that play Magic. And specifically, they almost holistically play Commander. So that's it's been really interesting. There's a lot of different takes about it. But let's go ahead and jump into the actual article. So I'll leave a link to the article below here. But what we're seeing is, first and foremost, some terrible things from the community, in my opinion. This has been kind of crazy. This whole sentence right here is, over the past week, the conversation has escalated, culminating with unacceptable personal threats to the safety of members of the Commander Rules Committee. This is something we will not tolerate, no matter how you feel about something in Magic. It is never appropriate to threaten somebody. Everyone at Wizards of the Coast is united on this front. We will not hesitate to take action against individuals who threaten to harm community members or employees. So this all comes from the Commander Rules Committee, and how over the last week or so there was a banning that came out. It was like Nadu, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, and then there was a third one. We're doing this stuff on the fly, so we're gonna pull this up real quick. So Dockside Extortionist, here's the cards here. Dockside Extortionist which was a 2 CMC, 1 colorless, 1 red, 1/2 creature goblin pirate. And when Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. That one was banned. Jeweled Lotus was banned. This was all about mana ramp. It's a 0-cost artifact. You can tap it, turn and sacrifice it, add 3 mana of any one color, spend this mana only to cast a commander. So it is a specifically commander-only deck. Some people have gotten it to work, I think, in like Vintage and do some crazy stuff with it there. But for the most part, it's a command-only card. Next up was another 0-cost mana generation. It's an artifact, and at the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Mana Crypt deals 3 damage to you. Otherwise, it is tap it for 2 colorless mana. And then they brought the ban of Nadu from Modern into Commander as well. The card was just kind of broken. You could do all of the same stuff that you could do in Modern, and for that aspect, that was banned as well. And so the Commander Rules Committee banned these cards, and this was on a week ago, so literally 7 days ago. And in that time, there has been some really, really disgusting things said to this committee, to the point where several of them quit. They just straight up resigned from the group. And a lot of it has to do with the unfortunate state of, I think, Magic cards in general, where people treat it like a stock market, and they're really trying to, like, there was a lot of lost value in the cards all of a sudden. Mana Crypt was a little bit more resilient to those changes because of the fact that it was still available in Vintage, but Jeweled Lotus lost a ton of value. Some folks saw the price go down to a third or even a quarter of what it was before. Technically, folks are the Magic the Gathering stock market exchange out there is showing the prices on it at about half of what it was back in the day. I'm trying to see if I can find a quick one here for you. What is it? Is it just Magic the Gathering stocks? There we go. Here we go. And then you see things like Jeweled Lotus up here. Search, or that was Mana Crypt. Jeweled Lotus. Is it not going? Can I search the Jeweled Lotus card? Jeweled. Thank you. There we go. So we see this significant drop off in price. We're seeing all-time low at $68, all-time high as was around 174. So we're seeing it hovering around a half of what it used to be, which is crazy. And so a lot of people felt like their entire net worth was eliminated and had violent exchanges with and things to say towards the rules committee, which was the big issue. And it was really unfortunate, and it was really, really ugly look for the Magic community and Magic players in general. And I just had some thoughts on that. I was just like really interested in having conversation with it. And to me, it's like rules change, and when rules change, things get deprecated. You can take any sport out there. I mean, even somewhat recently, I don't know, in the last handful of years or so, you know, I believe it was Nike that came out with the running shoe that they ended up banning because it gave you too much advantage in long distance running, and people were breaking like sub 2 hour or almost breaking sub 2 hour marathon times, and like there was just too much spring in the shoe, so they banned the shoe, and that was a really expensive shoe, and a bunch of people invested in the shoe, and now they can't use the shoe, right? Like, it happens. And then it happens in other formats of Magic. They make bans, and all of a sudden, a competitive card is worth nothing anymore. I mean, like, look at Nadu. Nadu was dominating the Modern scene. It was banned, and people were like, oh, okay. And then they kept moving forward. They didn't take it as a personal assault and like, start threatening people because of the ban. I mean, we're probably going to see a ban of the One Ring, and I am, as a personal owner of the One Ring, I got in early, and I think I bought the cards at like $75 a piece, and they're going now for $150 a piece. And so at some point that's going to get banned, and like my net worth is not in these cards, right? It's a game that I'm playing, and I want to play it at a competitive level, and I know the investment I need to make that happen. And that's all it is. And like Commander being specifically a social game, where it's like I'm gonna sit around the table with some friends, we're gonna play some games, hopefully we're roughly around the same power level, and we can enjoy the game together without some dickhead coming to the table with this like OP deck that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars and just blowing everybody out of the water. There is a format for that. It's called CEDH, Competitive Commander. And so like go over there, and everybody else is having those types of matches, right? So it's just so crazy to me that this reaction from the community because of their investment in these cards. And I'm like, guys, come on. Like, rules change all the time in competitive things, and it makes certain equipment illegal. It makes new equipment viable. And then especially in a competitive card game, or really, we're talking Commander, this is a social card game. Like, yes, we understand we want to polish your deck and make it as most efficient as possible, but at some point you start getting out of the casual and you start moving into competitive. And if that's where your mindset is, then you know you're playing to you're buying in to play at a competitive level. And those prices and those things are going to change. So all that to be said, super ugly of the community for this to even happen. And as the natural response to this is that Wizards of the Coast is stepping in. They're going to take over the whole management of Commander, the direction of Commander. So you'll read here in today, in partnership with members of the existing rules committee, that's the few people that are left, we are announcing that the rules committee is giving management of the Commander format to the game design team of Wizards of the Coast. So it was a very interesting change, and it's kind of like you got what you asked for, right? Like, we had this third party that was doing their best. They were doing it as a part-time job, a labor of love, and now it's been in Wizards' hands, and we don't know where it's going to go with that. I'm keeping a positive outlook on this. I know some people think that, you know, Wizards is just another corporate machine that's trying to make the money machine go burr, right? But I'm like, it's how businesses run. Like, you run a business to make money. You run a business in a way that it makes sense for your user base, so you don't lose people, that you continue to grow your customer base and to treat your customer base as best as you can to build loyalty so that they keep coming back and buying more product. That is business 101. Like, deliver a good product so that people buy the product and that they come back for more product, right? That's a business. That's just how businesses work. Are they going to make some decisions that upset people? Sure. So do the big companies. Chipotle makes bad decisions. Nike makes bad decisions. Starbucks makes bad. Like, name a big company out there. They're going to make a bad decision, and they're going to lose some people. And those some people sometimes are just louder than the majority. And I think this is what we see happen here. Now it's going into Big Papa's hands, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm really hoping this statement stays true. Commander has always, unless you hit the space button, Commander has always been a community-focused format, and this move in management does not change that. I'm really hoping that they are going to come together and really focus on community feedback from this and make some changes that I think have been due for a while. And I don't know who is in a better position to make those decisions. They did announce that there is a Magic Discord. I have gone out to it, and this Commander news channel does not yet exist. It says no access. I don't know if I'm clicking something wrong in there. I'll dig more deeply into it, but I tried. We'll also see a stream live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so that's 1 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv Magic, where they're going to talk more about this. So this is one of my favorite things, and one of the things I'm most excited about with Wizards being as part of this is that they're going to address one of my biggest concerns or complaints, if I even have one, about Commander, is just knowing what power level people are playing. I have played, I I can't say I've played as many as everybody else, but I've played probably a dozen to 2 dozen like community commanders. Like you go to the local bar, they're having a commander night, or you go to the LGS and they're having a commander night. I've done that about a dozen times, maybe a dozen and a half times. And every other time I've played Commander has been around my kitchen table or a friend's kitchen table, enjoying an adult beverage and just having time with friends. It was like another board game to play, but it was Magic. It was something to play that we all enjoyed playing. However, when it was just friends, it was just messy, jank decks that we threw together and had some fun. Sometimes you came in with a pre-con. Actually, as I got older, I didn't want to build decks anymore, so I was just like, give me precons. So I always just showed up with precons, and I might put a $30 upgrade in there to smooth out the mana curve and put a couple better cards in it. Well, they're looking to do a more objective approach to deck power level and additional guidance, shared language for players to find the match the type of game they're trying to play. So their initial thought, this is the initial idea. So I think this is a qualifying statement. I think some people have already taken this as concrete. It might fall into something like this, but they're just pitching an idea. They were literally handed this format like today or yesterday, and they're pitching an idea. And the idea here is that there are 4 power brackets, and that every commander deck can be placed into one of those brackets. By examining the cards and the combinations in your deck and comparing them to lists, we'll need community help to create. So again, pushing it back on the community. And now some people have said, hey, they might start that way, but it might fade over time. I'm like, yeah, that's always a thing too. But at least at this part, we are assuming that they're going to continue to do this community-focused approach for it. You can imagine bracket 1 is the baseline of an average pre-constructed deck or below, and bracket 4 is high power. For the lower tiers, we may lean on a mixture of cards and a description of how the deck functions, and the higher tiers are likely to define by more explicit lists of cards. They go on to show an example here. For example, you can imagine a bracket 1 has cards that can easily go into any deck, like Swords to Plowshares, which is exile target creature, its controller gains life equal to its power. It's a 1 mana, 1 white, pretty common card. Or Grave Titan. It's a 6/6 death touch for 6 CMC, so 4 colorless, 2 black, creature giant. Death touch whenever Grave Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2/2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Fairly common in Commander, right? Commander has always been about like, I want to play my big creatures and do fun stuff, right? And it's unoptimal play, but it's fun. Like what's not fun about a big old 6/6 that makes little 2/2 zombies? And then Cultivate. It's a 3 CMC, 2 colorless, 1 green sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Right. Whereas bracket 4 would have cards like some of these crazy ones. 1 black instant. Search your library for a card. Then shuffle and put that card on top. You may lose 2 life. Like Vampiric Tutor. I'm going to search through 100 cards and find the very specific one I need and put it on top. Right. That's OP. Right. That's scary. Or Armageddon. Destroy all lands. Like that's a bracket 4. Like you don't want that at your casual game where I'm showing up with my squirrel deck and I'm just over here trying to make a bunch of fucking squirrels that turn sideways and chitter at you. Like that's all that we're doing with our like in these like tier 1, tier 2 decks. And then you come in with an Armageddon, like nobody wants you at the table. Like you're not in the right bracket. Like go play with the people that are being assholes and blowing up all your land. Like that makes sense. Like put them in a different bracket. Grim Monolith, 2 colorless artifact here. Grim Monolith does not untap during your untap phase. Add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source. Pay 4, untap Grim Monolith. So just huge mana ramp for that. So make the game much more. These cards obviously make the game much more consistent, lopsided, or fast than the average deck can engage with. So that is something that's really interesting. One comment, though, the next paragraph was something I thought was a little bit more controversial. So in this system, your deck would be defined by its highest bracket card or cards. This makes it clear what cards go where and what kind of cards you can expect people to be playing. For example, if Ancient Tomb is a bracket 4 card, So Ancient Tomb, again, is no cost, add to, well, it's a land, duh. So it's a no cost because it's a land, add 2 colorless, Ancient Tomb deals 2 damage to you. So it's just huge mana ramp, right? For example, so if Ancient Tomb is a bracket 4 card, your deck would generally be considered a 4. But if it's part of a Tomb-themed deck, then the conversation may be, my deck is a 4 with Ancient Tomb, but 2 without it. Is that okay with everybody? My friend did bring up the point, though, that is somewhat true. I don't want to call anybody out, but in general, if you show up to a Commander night, you're going to find that not everybody is at the highest level of social skills. So having conflict like this and navigating conflict at the table isn't always the smoothest thing in a room full of, I'm self-admitted, nerds, right? Like, I'm a big nerd too. I just happen to, like, I work in sales, so I got to talk to people all the time. Conflict's part of my job. Like, it's what I'm used to, but not everybody's used to that. Somebody comes in the table and says, hey, we're 1s and 2s. I'm a 3 or a 4. I want to sit down here. And they're like, oh, okay. But we're 2s, I guess. Okay. Like, it happens. I see it happen all the time. So, like, you're putting this back on the players, which is not always the most efficient way to do things. And then it kind of gets messy with, like, hey, I'm walking around with our 1 or 2 deck, but because I have this 1 card in there, the whole thing's a 4. I'm like, I think it needs to be like a percentage of the deck, like it or a certain threshold. Like, it needs to have at least 5 cards, so 5% of the deck or something like that meet certain criteria. Like I said, this is complicated. I don't think this is easy in any way. I don't envy whoever's going to have to do this and work through this, because it's hard. I mean, we've already gone through and we have things like Legacy and Vintage and Modern and Pioneer and Standard, but those are set cards. Maybe something like that happens in Commander. It's, you know, certain eras, and then in those eras of cards, then, you know, you're golden. Like, that's a tier 1. Those are your, or bracket 1. This is this most recent era of cards. Or if it's bracket 4, it like goes back to a certain era. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But I do think having a more defined bracket system is going to be important for the success of the game, so that it's easier. I think some people are saying the barrier of entry will be harder because now there's all these rules, but I'm like, it's like any game. Any game you walk into, I'm going to go play Settlers of Catan, right? Like, I got to learn the rules. I got to learn the strategies. You got to learn a few things before you walk in. And if you want to make it easy on yourself, the barrier to entry is probably the easiest I've ever seen it with any of the formats, is like, go buy a pre-con and play that. Or like, take a pre-con list and say, oh, here, use this as inspiration. And then, like, if you have a bunch of magic cards, like, put some together. And then check the list and say, oh, hey, do any of the cards off the cards I put together make me super powerful? If so, maybe cut those and find some less powerful ones so that I can go play at that bracket 1 or 2. Like, I don't know the answer here. I just think the bracket system is necessary to make this easier. I've been at tables. Like, I don't mind. I think it's funny to see a deck go off and, like, do some crazy shit. Like, I don't know. I'm sitting there with my pre-con most of the time, and sometimes I've upgraded the pre-con. And I'm just over there making squirrels, turning them sideways. Like, that's all. I'm just here to, like, have a beer with friends and, like, hang out and, like, do some magic, right? So all that to be said, I think this is huge. I think this is the big thing that they need to address, is the bracket system. They fully admit, like, are they going to make perfect games? No. But the other final point that I really want to talk about is this current banned card list alongside both Commander Rules Committee and the community. So they're going to be evaluating those. So this could potentially mean cards like Jeweled Lotus and the Mana Crypt and the Dockside Extortionist, and maybe not Nadu. Nadu's just flat broken. They wrote a whole article about how Nadu's broken. So, but maybe Jeweled Lotus, which is essentially a commander only card, and a Mana Crypt come back. So right now, the prices I think are really interesting. So they're saying that the price is way down on these cards. I did manage to find a couple go on eBay for like $40, but like good luck. Everybody's hounding them. I would personally, I would say now might be the time to try to get yourself a cheaper Jeweled Lotus or Mana Crypt to add to your collection, because there's, I don't know, if I had to guess, if I was a betting man, I do like to throw a few dollars down on the table when I'm in Vegas every now and then. I'd say they're probably going to get unbanned. I don't know. We'll see. But they're going to take a look at the whole list and see if all of them need to be banned. Maybe they find a new home in the bracket system. The other thing about that bracket system that's not called out, this is just for the casual play. I think CEDH is still going to be its own thing. So that's going to be in its own category outside of the bracket system. So all that to be said, I'm really interested to see how this unfolds. I don't think it affects your tabletop games with friends in your own kitchen. The only thing this is really going to affect is if the only place you're playing Commander is at your LGS in an organized structure event versus maybe going down to your local game bar or maybe to your LGS with just your friends. Like, the rules that you set between you and your friends are not going to change. They're just there for you and your friends to have a little bit of guidance. So with that in mind, we're going to break the fourth wall, go back over here, and have more exciting Duskmourn news. And we're going to just close it out with thank you for hanging out, checking out the news, my opinions on the new Commander news. If you like this video, go ahead, like, subscribe. If you like Magic the Gathering content, follow along. I am documenting my path to pro, set a goal starting this year to try to qualify for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. And so I make a lot of Magic the Gathering content here. And news is just part of that. So until next time, as I always like to close these out, we'll catch you at the table. Perfect. So I was going to switch to this scene at the end, but then I remember the stupid graphics there. So I got to make another scene. So duplicate. And we're going to call this news room. And then we're going to delete that. We're back here. And this is how we'll be able to close it out. Okay. And then we got to add that to our little scene switcher. Newsroom. Newsroom. Perfect. Okay. So that was one news piece that we're going to do. We're going to do one other news piece. We're going to cover Magic the Gathering Arena announcements for September 30th. It is still September 30th. So let's go ahead and get this done. So if I just do this, hi, and welcome to the news that you came to watch, all about Magic the Gathering Arena and its new announcements for September 30th, 2024. I'm trying to get better about these. I've done a couple. We're going to do some more, but we're going to cover this week and what to expect in Magic the Gathering Arena. And why do I care? Well, because I'm there drafting and doing some constructed every now and then. But I know most of my efforts go in constructed into modern, which is done in at the local game store. But I want to check things out. Another way to pro is through Magic the Arena. So let's go ahead and check this out. What do we have? Let's throw our papers to the side. As announcements, out today. I'm going to get this video out. It's like 11 o'clock my time. We're going to get it out before midnight. But I wanted to cover a few things. So obviously, we've all seen Duskmourn House of Horror has been released. You may have already got some drafts in, but the draft, we'll talk a little bit more about this, has reset, or the ranks have reset. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to mean a kickoff of our Bronze to Mythic run, hoping to do one yet tonight. I don't know if that's going to happen yet tonight, but we will, at the very least, do one tomorrow. So cosmetic stuff, if you're into that, these are kind of fun. Don't open that door. I mean, like, you could actually, I saw somebody that had a complete collection of the stickers and these emotes, and they were essentially talking shit. So it was great. If that's what you're into, if you can piece together a bunch of those into talking shit and like go for it, it's kind of funny. But they got some new phrases and stickers in the store. I think this is a great place if you are. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, hey, I want to draft. I want to get better at drafting. Phantom draft does come around every now and then, but quick draft is a cheaper way to get into drafting. And so keeping that on your radar, October 4th through the 15th, we're going to see the Duskmourn House of Horror quick draft on Arena. So that's starting this Friday, this very Friday. You can get out there and start doing quick draft in Duskmourn. And I will tell you, the skill set directly translates to paper draft. So not so much in quick draft because you're drafting against bots. So the whole, like, reading the table and like what cards people are taking, that aspect is missing. But building a deck on the fly, skill set is learned, and then obviously playing the deck. Like, so you're coming up with a strategy on the fly, and it's a little bit more in a bubble, but you can then hopefully execute on that strategy and play games. So I think it's worth it. It's good practice. Now, I think doing Premiere is a little bit better because now you get the table reading aspect of it, but even Premiere has its downside, which is I'm not then in turn playing against the people I drafted against. So like, I can hate draft in real life, right? Like, hey, I don't want to play against this card, so I'm just going to draft this card. That's a valid strategy. Doesn't really work in Premiere Draft, but it does give you that little better insight into how to read the table and like what people are taking in Premiere Draft. Now, but it's more expensive to get into. So some fun stuff coming up. I don't play all these game modes, but we'll talk about them. So starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, October 1st, at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to have some midweek magic things going on. So the 1st through the 3rd is House of a Horror Constructed. There will be some Brawl Builder challenges, Into the Future challenges, and Golden Pack sealed events going on. Haven't played any of these before, so I might check some out and talk to you a little bit about them. We talked all about Quick Draft, though, coming in Duskmourn on the 4th through the 15th for House of Horror, and then they're circling back to Bloomborough on the 15th through the 29th, so the second half of the month, of which I will be at MagicCon. So if you're at MagicCon, you see me, come say hi. I'll be out and about playing. I'll be doing sealed events. I will be doing draft events, and I might even enter a tournament or two just to see what will happen. Other events that are going on, there is the 4th through the 6th is the Historic Metagame Challenge. 18th through the 21st is an Omniscience Draft. That's interesting. I have no idea what that is. But then here comes some of the important competitive things, which probably the things I care about the most in these qualifier events. So we have the best of 1 play-ins starting on the 12th. On October 18th, we have the best of 3 play-ins. And then on October 19th through the 20th, we have the qualifier weekend. So the qualifier play-in events are single-day tournaments in which players compete to earn invitations to that month's qualifier event. So you can do this as many times as you want. So if you fail the first time, just keep trying over and over again until you can get into the qualifier weekend. And then once you go into the qualifier weekend, it's a 2-day event which eligible players compete for invitations to the upcoming Arena Championships. So we can always take a look at that link and see what it takes. So you got to finish in the top 250 in either constructed or limited in the previous month. Well, there's several ways to get into the qualifier weekend invitation path. Finishing in top 250 in constructed or limited in the previous month's ranked season. finishing with a maximum wins in a single course of that month's qualifier event, which is what we're talking about. Earning 1 to 3 wins in a qualifier weekend. Day 2 will get you a 1 invite for the following month. So if you get to the next, if you qualify for day 2 and then get 1 to 3 wins in day 2 of a month, you get invited back to day 1 of the next month. Earning 4 to 5 wins in a qualifier weekend, day 2 will get you a day 2 invite to the following month. So there's a way to just keep, like, once you get in there, you can just keep cycling and keep going to the next month's event. And 2024 qualifier weekend event information, the formats, you can find all of this information linked in the news article here if you're interested in going deep in these qualifier events. But here's the times for those. So the play-in event is on the 12th. It starts at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, and then it goes until midnight Eastern, or 3 a.m. Pacific, which would be 6 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, it goes from till way early in the morning. So there you go. It's a good little event if you're trying to get competitive in arena. Same thing with the qualifier play-in on the 18th, and then we have the qualifier weekend. Now the Arena Open itself is a Arena Open Day 1 entry window begins at 6 a.m. Pacific time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern, and closes to new entries the following day at 3 a.m. The Day 2 entry window is 2 hours only from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And we have the Arena Open on October 12th and 13th. And these are both sealed events, best of 1 and best of 3. And then on day 2, it's a best of 3 format. So all entrants do get this sweet Span of Centuries sleeve if you're interested. So closing out the 2024 ranked season, I hope you all got your rewards. I think getting to platinum is fairly simple or fairly easy in constructed nowadays. There's so many fast decks. It just takes time and just play the fast decks. And that's what I think where you get the most optimal, the optimal prizes, because you move from 1 pack to 3 packs, you get the 1,000 gold, and you get the 2 card styles. So outside of platinum, getting a diamond just gets you another pack, and mythic gets you another pack above that. So get to platinum, get your rewards. Pretty easy to do every season now. Just take some time and grind it out. And here's your 2 cards that you get for the September 2024 ranked season. You get a Pyroclasm, alternative art, extended art. Same thing with the unidentified hover ship. But then the 2024 October season, same suggestion, get that platinum level. We get some extended art on Rite of Moth. I love this card already. I've played it in several drafts, both IRL. Well, I did a pre-release event, did it once in, maybe twice in a pre-release event. And then I did one in a sealed event on Arena, and then I drafted one. So I've played with this card quite a few times. I like this card. Undead Sprinter is the other extended art that is available for your October 2024 ranked season. So with that, what are you most excited about with the Arena announcements and this coming month in Arena? I know personally, I'm excited to kick off in October my next Bronze to Mythic run. Last time we got to Platinum at 18 drafts, and I fully admit Platinum is my worst, or drafting is my worst format in Magic the Gathering. So I'm learning it, and I'm just inviting you along on the journey. Come learn with me, and come see what mistakes I'm making, and maybe give some advice along the way. I don't know, or maybe I'll help you. I can at least lower the barrier to entry. If you've always been interested in draft, I'm at least a step or 2 ahead of a new player. And I always like to say, if you're learning something, try to find somebody that's just ahead of you, or maybe a step or 2 ahead of you, and kind of where you want to be. It gives you those short-term goals, those short-term sort of objectives that you can reach out to, rather than like, I want to be good at basketball, and I'm looking at a pro basketball player. I can go, I want to be good at basketball. Maybe I should look at how a high schooler plays, or a college basketball player plays or practices, right? It's the same thing. So just looking at somebody who's just a few steps ahead might help you learn and lower that barrier entry. And I talk about my thought process throughout the whole aspect. I'm slowly getting my win rate up and up and up. When I first started, my win rate was like 33%. And now I'm up to like 45, 50-ish% in draft. And the ideal one is 66%. If you want to know what the magic number is to be able to get to Mythic, it's 66% average win rate. So all that to be said, come follow along. I appreciate you hanging out with me here, catching the arena news. This channel is all about Magic the Gathering, following my journey in my path to pro. Set a goal this year, starting this summer in 2024. In the next 5 years, I'm trying to qualify for the Pro Tour. So that means I'm doing vlogs on RCQs. That means I'm doing bronze to mythic runs on draft. That means I'm doing news and Magic the Gathering content so that I can stay up on top of what's going on in the world of Magic and can continue to be at least a source of entertainment for all of you. And as I like to say, until next time, we'll catch you at the table. Cool. So, finish that. It's hot in this coat. We got our 2 news articles done. And now I got a bio break. BRB. All right, friends, I'm back. So, if you're lactose intolerant, don't eat a ton of cheese. Okay, so the title of this stream might be a lie. I should really go to bed early and post these videos. So I think I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna get up nice and early tomorrow. And we're gonna get in like 3, maybe 4 drafts tomorrow. So that's the goal. Get a shit ton of drafts in. And get a good start on this bronze to mythic run. I think is what I'm gonna do. It's just too late because it's gonna be at least 2 hours to draft, hour and a half to draft. So I would rather do all that tomorrow. So I appreciate all of you watching me be a goofball and making some news content. I'm gonna post those videos. I'm gonna post the arena announcements first. That's gonna go out immediately, and then I'm gonna schedule the other one to go out tomorrow. So tomorrow morning. Yeah. So with all that, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, and be on the lookout for those videos tomorrow. All right, catch you all later. Bye.